When it comes to manifestation, this is what you must understand. Energy does not lie. You can't BBL your energy. And this is what I mean when I talk about energy. Our state of being, as Neville would state, or living in the end, as what Neville would call it, is what is making us a human magnet. Literally a human magnet. Now, how do we change our state? And do you know if you're in the correct state or not to manifest your desire? The way to check that is this. When you look into your 3D reality right now, what is the reflection that you are getting in whatever area you're desiring? So if you're trying to look for new love, are there new love prospects that meet your new standards that are coming towards you? A great way to check yourself as to whether or not you're in the state or not, whether your energy is aligned or not, whether you're living in the end or not, however you want to word it. There's 1,000 different ways to say the exact same thing, is to look at your 3D reality and see what you're currently getting as a byproduct of your state. Because what you have now is based on where your energy is sitting. So it makes a lot of logical sense that in any version of our 3D reality, it is a combination of both our good assumptions, our good thoughts, our good expectations, our good anticipations, and our bad ones. Our bad assumptions, our bad expectations, and things of that nature, they're not like totally bad. It's normal to have some negative assumptions. You don't have to have a perfect 100% only positive mindset to manifest, but you need to make sure that if what you're attracting now is not what you want, it's because too many of the assumptions are stacked in a negative direction. And a lot of the times what we want the most is what loads the last in our assumptions in our mind, because we put contingencies on the manifestation. We'll say that when the man comes in and shows me that he's serious, then I'll feel loved, then I'll feel chosen, then I'll feel worthy, then I'll feel special. What if you gave yourself permission right now, without a man or without money or without whatever it is you're seeking for? What if you gave yourself permission right now to feel amazing, to feel loved, to feel abundant with or without your desire? Now, this doesn't mean you don't want your desire, but you don't want to create codependent, unhealthy relationships where you need the desire to feel good. You need the desire to have any level of self-esteem. Imagine if I show up to a first date and I'm like looking at the gentleman and I'm like, based on how good or bad you treat me, I'm going to believe in myself accordingly. My self-worth is based on how you treat me. How quick is that man going to get up and run away? We have to start creating independent relationships with the outcome, so that way the outcome does not control us. Too many people in the manifestation community are so desperate for the man, the money, the woman, the lifestyle, whatever it is, that when they see the 3D unfavorably, basically, they're in a situation that if the 3D says jump, they say how high, forgetting that they created this version of the 3D anyway, so they can go back into their mind and create a different version. It's all about rejecting your 3D, rejecting your 3D, rejecting your 3D, and showing your own mental image and impressing it on your subconscious mind by every time the 3D shows you something bad, you correct it in the brain and show it what it's supposed to show you. And you do that consistently, and you keep rejecting the 3D and coming into your mind and correcting it in the brain. Reject the 3D, come into your mind and correct it into the brain until the image you get out there and the image you have in here match. So when I talk about energy, I'm basically utilizing different terminologies that are crossing between Neville and Dr. Joe Dispenza, and a little bit of my own based on how I interpret the information that I mass consume, condense it, and give it to you. When I talk about energy, I'm talking about your emotional state, your emotional well-being. It feels like a different energy. If I sit here and I'm totally depressed, or if I sit here and I'm really annoyed and irritated about why certain people don't understand certain topics, or I sit here and I'm enthusiastic and I'm happy and I'm invigorated and ready to teach, they are all different energies. And based on your energy, your emotional energy, which is your state of being, you will end up magnetizing in certain people, places, and situations to match your energy. So where this gets a little bit complicated for some people is they're like, I'm not matching the energy of toxicity or narcissism or anything like that. I'm not saying that you're a narcissist. What I'm trying to say is that we always get the correct version of people brought into our lives to heal certain traumas in ourselves. So a lot of times people who attract narcissistic people, I'm not saying they're narcissistic people, I'm saying they have a wound inside that is magnetizing that type of person towards them. So I'll give you an example. If I know my limiting beliefs inside of me are that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not chosen, I will attract men who exhibit hot and cold behavior to show me that I am not worthy, I am not good enough, I am not chosen. Because life is a mirror. And whatever I know in a negative direction, which is where I started this off, the positive assumptions we don't need to work on. We need to work on the negative assumptions and make them into positive. So that way we can start to attract better things. If I know inside me that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not chosen, I will attract that hot and cold behavior. And weirdly enough, this is where trauma bonds come into play, because we get wildly attracted to a man or a woman that is breadcrumbing us, that is giving us lesser than treatment. Why? Because on a psychological and subconscious level, we actually innately don't feel good enough, worthy, chosen, special, prioritized, committed to, wherever your wounds lie. We actually don't feel that way. So then we go into performing for that person so that they can deem us worthy, they can deem us chosen, they can deem us good enough. Until you start to separate yourself from your desire and decide who you are, with or without that person, your energy changes, because your subconscious changes, because your thoughts change, because when your thoughts change, your emotions change, because when the stories that you're choosing to accept or reject change, everything else about you changes. When you change who you're being, what you're available for and what you're not available for, you create detachment. And detachment is actually very good, because your whole life and soul and reason for being isn't supposed to be the desire. You're supposed to be good with or good without. However, you can still double down and get it. I'm not saying no, but what I'm trying to say is I never encourage a desperate lack mentality, as that is the easiest way to repel your desire from you. You have to first create internal stability, an inner sense of knowing, respect on your name, self-esteem. You have to have a glow up physically of knowing that what you offer is tremendous, and working on your areas of deficiency and making them into your strengths. Until you start to do the variety of things I've mentioned throughout this video, you will remain plateaued in your results. How do I know this? Well, because of what you're attracting right now. What you're attracting right now is not your end. It makes a lot of logical sense that you're still hanging on to some unfavorable stories, whether that be about you, whether that be about men as a whole, whether that be about the love, situation department, whether that be about abundance, whether that be about anyone else. I have a program called Manifestation University where my clients are already getting marriage proposals, losing weight, becoming the best version of themselves, ridding themselves from their subconscious limitations, and are taken through the stepwise process from originally finding their limiting beliefs to all the way to the end, getting their end desire. In under 21 days, the people in this program are already reaping crazy results. If you want to learn more about it, the link is in my bio to book a manifestation strategy call to see if this could be the solution to your problems.